rules apply to the school meeting. Article 1 is to elect all necessary officials. I'll read the election results. Hold on to your seat. Moderator Ed Alkali, 43 votes. Selectman Kelly Robitel wins with 36 votes. Also receiving votes is a write-in was Joe Ferris with 2, Kathy Carrier with 1, William Bell with 1, Rick Highland with 1. Cemetery trustee for 3 years. Joe Ferris wins as a write-in with 4 votes. Rick Highland gets 1 vote. Cemetery trustee for 2 years. Kathy Fleischner wins with 2 votes, beating out Lisa Robitel and Sherry Coleman with 1 vote. Winning cemetery trustee for 1 year is Jim Druin with 1 vote. 1 vote can make a difference. Trustee of trust funds 3 years, Ann Merrow wins 31 votes. Trustee of trust funds for 2 years, there's a tie between Rick Highland, Kristen Coleman, and Megan Bailey, all with 1 vote. So I'm sure that'll work out fine. Supervisor of the checklist, Barbara Alkali won with for 5 years. Barbara Alkali wins with 41 votes. Supervisor of the checklist for 2 years, Tina Craig wins with 37 votes. Now for Article 2, I'm going to read it out. It's the budget, which is on page 8 of the town report. And, well, the warrant is page 6. The actual budget is on page 8. And so you can open up to that page. In years past, I have read, or in some years I've read all line items. I'm not going to read all line items. I'm just going to ask people to move to open for discussion and second, and then give you some time to look over the budget. So Article 2 is to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $812,026 for the municipal operating budget for the ensuing year, with $20,000 to come from the December 31st, 2022 unassigned fund balance. This article does not include appropriations contained in special or individual articles addressed separately. Do I have a motion to bring to the floor? Kathy Carrier, seconded. Johnny Eastman. So turn to page 8, 9, and 10, and 11. And I'm going to give everyone a minute or two to just look over the budget, the proposed budget for 2023 compared to the 2022 budget, and just either mark or just remember any sections you want to comment on, and I will recognize you. So take a minute. When you're done looking, just kind of look up so I know that you've had enough time. give it another minute or so. All right, it seems as if most people are done. You can feel free to keep looking as well. Does anyone have any comments or questions for the Board of Selectmen, the Select Board at this time about the budget? Dan, if you could come up to the microphone too.
The increase in the solid waste for Albany, that seemed pretty substantial, and that was due to?
That was due to the formula that is used to create the amount that we pay them, and Conway's equalization ratio dropped dramatically, like over 30%. They're due for a reval this year, hopefully to bring that a little more in line. However, Albany's has dropped, so maybe next year that'll favor us.
Okay. My second question was, it looked like a substantial drop in the Conway Parks and Recreation to 20,000. The reason for that was?
That is due, if you recall, like through COVID, and they were the only rec department basically running, and their camp attendance went through the roof. So basically, it's due to the revenue that they brought in and continue to bring in. They're growing and growing.
Very good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Dan.
I would like to the highway and streets line item budget, I would like to add $20,000 to that. We are about 40% through our budget from January 1 to December 31st, so.
What section is that?
It's highway and streets, so it's it's 4312 highway and streets, and it would be adding it to a total of from 223,000 to 243,000.
Okay, so just a point of order, as you probably know, any increases or decreases in the budget can't be directed to a specific line item. The Select Board has the discretion whether or not to do that. So in effect, you're asking, I know you're asking for it to be pointed toward that, but it's an increase in how much to the budget? It's an increase of $20,000, right?
Yes, it would be adding $20,000.
Okay, so I have a motion to increase the budget $20,000, requesting it to be directed toward highways and streets. Do I have a second to bring that to the floor for discussion? Kathy Ryan seconded. Okay, any comments or questions about that?
I'm guessing that's due to weather primarily.
Yeah, I mean, our salt prices are way up, and then our events are way up, and we've just been spending a lot of money. So it's been, we've been out a lot. We're over 30 storms right now, and they're long storms, and it's costing us more. And so, I'm hoping that we won't have to spend it, and it will, we can save a little bit on the other end. But if we're over 100, or almost $100,000 right now, so that's 10 weeks in. So our total budget is $223,000. So, usually we spend, $50,000 in the last few months of the year, $45,000. So it might give us a little room. And if we want to do some more summer work that we've been historically been doing some paving and whatnot, it would give us a little room to do that.
Okay.
So.
Any other comments or questions on that issue? Okay. Are there any other, so we have a motion to increase the overall budget $20,000. Do we have any other comments, questions, concerns on any other portion of the budget that you'd like to address? Okay, if there's nothing more, I'm going to go back and read the amended article. Article 2 as amended, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $832,026 for the municipal operating budget for the ensuing year, with $20,000 to come from the December 31st, 2022 unassigned fund balance. This article does not include appropriations contained in special or individual articles addressed separately. All those in favor? All those opposed? Article 2 as amended passes. Article 3, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $8,000 for deposit into the Drake Hill Road Bridge Expendable Trust Fund previously established. Do I have a motion to bring it to the floor? Kathy Golding moves, seconded. Kathy Carrier seconds. Comments, questions on Article 3? Tim, could you just come up to the microphone, please?
I'm just curious, how much is in there now?
Page
I couldn't find it, I'm sorry.
26. $89,604.
Okay. And what's our goal?
Oh, the goal. Probably on another page. $28. $150,800.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other comments or questions on Article 3? Yeah.
I understand. Oh, you did? I'm not sure I understand what that Drake Hill Fund is. Could you explain what it is?
So DOT every year goes around listing red listed bridges in every single town, and those are bridges in need of help. We have 2 in Albany, one of which is the Drake Hill Road Bridge. The other one is the covered bridge on the Kank. That will never come off as it has wooden planks for its flooring there. Drake Hill Road Bridge, it is red listed, but it's not in dire need of immediate assistance. So in 2000, I believe it was 17 or 18, Albany applied for the very end of the New Hampshire State Bridge Aid, and ours was one of the last applications to get in. Then they cut the program off. But we were still in there as the last application. So we are still saving up for our match of this. If the state of New Hampshire finds some extra funds and comes knocking on our door, we have to be immediately ready to have those funds available to get that bridge off the red list. That is, it's a savings account basically for when they come knocking.
And you need $150,000 in that trust fund? Is that what you're saying?
Not yet, not yet. We need 150 for our match. The total price is over 750,000.
So, but that's our price relative to what the state is going.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments on Article 3? Okay. Article 3, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $8,000 for deposit into the Drake Hill Road Bridge Expendable Trust Fund previously established. All those in favor? All those opposed? Article 3 passes. Article 4, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $3,500 for deposit into the Revaluation Expendable Trust Fund previously established. Do I have a motion to bring to the floor? Kathy Ryan, seconded by Kathy Carrier. Comments or questions on Article 4? Okay, all those in favor of Article 4? All those opposed? Article 4 passes. Article 5, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $150,000 for the purpose of continuing the maintenance and pavement of Albany town roads, with $150,000 to come from the Highway Expendable Trust Fund previously established. Do I have a motion to bring to the floor? Kathy Ryan, seconded by Jody Morissette. Comments, questions on Article 5? All those in favor? All those opposed? Article 5 passes. Article 6, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $1,000 to be added to the Capital Reserve Fund previously established. Motion, please. Bring to the floor. Lee Valderas, seconded. Kathy Ryan. Comments, questions? All those in favor? All those opposed? Article 6 passes. See if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $4,000 for additional maintenance of town cemeteries, with $4,000 to come from the Cemetery Expendable Trust Fund previously established. I have a motion to bring to the floor.
So moved.
Kathy Ryan, seconded by
Second.
Kathy Golding. Comments, questions, Article 7? Stan, am I waiting for you, or are you good? Well, no, just keep going on. All right, I just want to make sure. It's a town meeting. I see you shuffling papers there. All those in favor of Article 7? All those opposed? Okay, Article 7 passes. Article 8, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $20,000 to perform town hall and town hall property upgrades, and to withdraw $14,000 from the Town Hall Capital Reserve Fund previously established. Do I have a motion? Kathy Carrier, seconded. Jody Morissette. Article 8, comments or questions?
Just what is the plan? What's being updated?
We're going to put AC in and do a little bit of landscaping around Town Hall property here. Little TLC.
Hopefully a lot of landscaping. Quite a bit.
What did you say, Kelly?
Hopefully a lot of landscaping. I mean, we have
We'll see.
the hills. and
Whatever
the-
we can do.
Yeah.
Whatever we can do.
Any other comments, questions, Article 8? All those in favor of Article 8? All those opposed? Article 8 passes. Article 9, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $1,000 to be added to the Emergency Management Capital Reserve Fund previously established. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Kathy Ryan, Kathy Golding
Second.
seconds. Comments, questions on Article 9? All those in favor? All those opposed? Article 9 passes. Article 10, to see if the town will readopt the optional veterans tax credit in accordance with RSA 72:28(2) for an annual tax credit on residential property of $500. Motion to bring to the floor, John Eastman, seconded Kathy Ryan. Comments, questions on Article 10? All those in favor of Article 10? All those opposed? Article 10 passes. Article 11, shall the town of Albany accept the provisions of RSA 53-G:1, RSA 53-G:2, RSA 53-G:11, providing for the establishment of a communication district together with the municipalities of Bartlett, Brookfield, Chatham, Conway, Eaton, Effingham, Freedom, Hales Location, Harts Location, Jackson, Madison, Moulton Borough, Ossipee, Tamworth, and Tufton Borough in accordance with the provisions of the proposed agreement filed with the Board of Selectmen. Do I have a motion to bring to the floor?
So
Kathy
moved.
Carrier, Kathy
Second.
Golding, seconds. Comments or questions on Article 11?
Why, I noticed that there was no recommendation from the selectmen on that one?
Non-monetary.
Non-monetary, thank you.
Any other comments or questions?
Rick Highland, Route 16. I'm the representative of Albany on this Carroll County Communications District Planning Committee. This is an offshoot of the original committee that Steve and I started back 4 years ago called the Carroll County Broadband Committee. One of the problems that we had back then was we could not apply for grants because we were just a committee. We were able to get legislation passed in the legislature in Concord to form a communications district, similar to a sewer district or a water district. That committee had been formed per statute, and we now have an agreement. We have 16 towns of the 19 towns in Carroll County that are members of this planning committee that are voting at their town meetings to join this communications district. The communications district won't cost the towns anything. We're using the district format strictly for feasibility, to be able to put partners together from providers of broadband with the various towns in the district. It will not cost taxpayers any property tax money or anything like that. It'll also allow us to apply for grants. And if you've read the news, and you probably already know, the build out of Conway with Consolidated Communications going under their subsidiary Fidium, most of Albany has been wired for fiber optic cable and 1 gigabyte of service. The balance of Albany will be done with that $40 million grant that Consolidated just received from the state of New Hampshire, part of the ARPA funds. And the last 23 premises will be built out by the end of 2024 is what I've been told. Right now, 15 of the 19 towns in Carroll County now have a large portion of those towns going to be built out or already have been built out with fiber optic cable for high-speed internet. And it's to solve a problem that the pandemic really exacerbated 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and whatnot. And it's working. So, I've been asked the question, why should Albany join this district if we're already going to we have both Spectrum as well as Fidium now. Numbers matter when it comes to talking to these internet providers. And that's what we've been told by the internet providers. And that's why we've gotten the attention that we've gotten. So hopefully by the end of 2024, a very large percentage of Carroll County is going to be built out with fiber optic cable. So that's it in a nutshell.
Thank you. Kathy?
And I'd just like to thank Steve and Rick for all your hard work over the past few years, and it's certainly, look what it's produced, so sure did. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Any other comments or questions on Article 11? Okay, I don't think I need to read that one over again. All those in favor of Article 11? All those opposed? Article 11 passes. Yeah,
May I make a motion that we combine Articles 12 through 18 as their petition warrant articles for nonprofits, unless somebody has a problem with that? The total will be $18,536.
sure. That's what I was seconded. So this is what I do every year. This is no change from anything. So why don't we just vote for that very formally? All those in favor of reading those all together as one? Any opposed? Okay. And of course, if you have any comments on any one specific one, you'll be able to do that. So I'll read all of them and then ask for a motion and a second to discuss all of them together. Article 12, by petition, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $2,000 for the Family Resource Center at Children Unlimited, Inc. Article 13, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $1,708 for the operation of Tri-County Community Action Program, Inc. service programs in Albany, transportation, energy assistance, weatherization, guardianship, Head Start, homeless intervention and prevention, disaster relief, and Tamworth Dental Center. Article 14, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $3,000 to support Albany home-delivered meals, Meals on Wheels, congregate meals, transportation, and program services provided by the Gibson Center for Senior Services, Inc. Article 15, see if the town of Albany will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $3,600 in support of the operations of Valley Vision Channel 3, the public education and government station in 2023. Broadcast of Albany municipal meetings on Channel 3 is included, subject to permission of the Town of Albany Select Board. The sum is generated through franchise fees from Spectrum Cable and does not involve any revenue generated from tax dollars. Article 16, to respectfully request that the town vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $4,281 in support of Starting Point, providing advocacy and support to victims of domestic and sexual violence and their children. Article 17, to see if the town of Albany will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $2,947 for the support of White Mountain Community Health Center to help meet the healthcare needs of the uninsured and underinsured residents of the town of Albany. And Article 18, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $1,000 for the Conway Area Humane Society for the purpose of supporting continuing services for stray, abandoned, and neglected animals brought to the shelter by animal control or private citizens no longer able to care for them. Do I have a motion to bring Articles 12 through 18 to the floor for discussion? Kathy Carrier moves, Jody Morissette seconds. Any comments on any one of those articles? Okay. All those in favor of Articles 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18? All those opposed? Articles 12 through 18 pass. Okay, so we come to Article 19, to act upon any other business. And this is really just for anyone to make any comments in general. Want to. So, does anyone have any comments on anything? This may be the all-time record for school and town meeting. So, congratulations. Any other questions? Then I will close the 2023 town meeting. Wait a minute. Peter doesn't have anything to say. The meeting's closed. It's closed. It's closed. It's closed. Hey, thank you, Peter, for everything